Broadcasting.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Monday, December the 10th, 2018. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us. All public schools were closed today due to teachers and principals calling in sick in protest of the government's alleged inaction on outstanding grievances. This is the third instance of industrial action taken by unionized teachers over the past 2 weeks. However, we've learned that not all teachers are on board with the protest. Jasmine Patterson brings us up to date.
Parents were forced to find alternate plans today for their children as the Ministry of Education informed them public schools are closed. The reason? Teachers still are not satisfied with the pace at which the government is moving to have systemic problems resolved.
There are a number of things that could actually take place almost immediately. Might have even been the last meeting with the minister, where he said that the implementation of standard-based grading will be delayed. However, he has not said that to our teachers, neither has he made that public. That's something that could happen instantly.
Is there anything that you would want the minister to know? You called on a meeting with the premier as well.
Preferably some timelines in place for when these concerns can be acted on, and some guarantee that these timelines will be adhered to.
The Education Minister, Diala Rabane, said on Friday that all teachers will have a training day in January on the new grading system. Plus, West Pembroke Primary's computer system would be audited in response to complaints of outdated software. And they are awaiting the result of vendors bidding to conduct repairs to 4 schools with broken fire alarm systems. However, negotiations on employment issues are ongoing. A well-placed source telling Bermuda Broadcasting News not all teachers are on board with today's sick-out action and would like to see a more amicable solution to today's issues. We're also told that there's a possibility of a vote of no confidence in BUT President Shannon James. Our newsroom has also learned that school principals are not happy with the department's student services sector. Principals wrote to Education Permanent Secretary Valerie Robinson James on Thursday to express a vote of no confidence, and they called for a change in leadership. It's understood their complaints were previously put to the Education Minister verbally. In response to last week's sick-out action, no teacher will have to submit a sick note explaining their absence last week. The minister said, "We are demonstrating a commitment towards getting all parties focused on the best interests of our children." The standoff, now in its 3rd week, has seen some action being taken by the department. However, clearly it's not moving fast enough as the industrial action has affected the whole island's public school system. At a press conference earlier this afternoon at BUT headquarters, they confirmed schools will reopen tomorrow.
The Ministry of Education have actually, since last week Thursday, sent the letters to the Labor Relations Office. I've been in contact with the Labor Relations Office as of today, and we have agreed that, in fact, we're suggesting availability for a meeting at 10 o'clock tomorrow with the Labor Relations Office and the ministry. Hence, we expect that schools will be open tomorrow.
The government says, quote, "The ministry is working diligently to attain a swift and amicable resolution to this dispute," end quote. Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Jasmine. In other news, a 21-year-old suspect was arrested in connection with the shooting death of 33-year-old Paul Johnson. Mr. Johnson died after being shot multiple times early this morning outside his residence at Rambling Lane in Pembroke. Gary Moreno has been following developments and tells us more in this report.
Let's bring justice to the family of Paul Johnson and work together to find the persons responsible for this crime.
And the search for justice continued this afternoon with officers headed to Fenton's Lane in Pembroke in the area of the prefabs where police executed search warrants in the hopes of recovering evidence which might lead them to solving this crime committed shortly before 3 this morning.
The circumstances are still emerging, but it appears that a lone gunman lie in wait outside Mr. Johnson's residence. And as he was about to enter, the suspect opened fire and shot the victim several times before leaving the area. It is too early in the investigation to identify whether or not this is a gang-related incident, but the Bermuda Police Service is following all lines of inquiry.
And those investigations headed up by Detective Sergeant Jason Smith appear to be making some headway.
As a result of our dedicated officers' swift and detailed response to this incident, I can confirm that a 21-year-old Pembroke man has been arrested in connection with the murder of Paul Johnson.
When was the suspect arrested?
The suspect was arrested minutes before noon, and it was not in the area. It was another.
Where he was arrested?
In Pembroke Parish.
Is he a known gang member?
Yes, he is a known gang member.
The chief inspector would not say whether Mr. Johnson was himself known to police or whether the incident which claimed his life may have been in retaliation for another shooting 2 weeks ago. While police would not say how many times he was struck, we counted 7 evidence markers on the ground outside Mr. Johnson's residence. Elsewhere, Mr. Glassford stated there has been useful information provided by members of the public and CCTV footage is being looked at.
We are very interested in speaking to the driver of a grey car that we have information to believe that the victim was traveling in last night at the establishment on Church Street. So we are appealing at this time to the persons who could have been with the victim last night, particularly in a grey car, to come forward to police.
Meanwhile, Chief Inspector Glassford admits that the recent flare-up of gun and gang activity is proving to be a major concern for the Bermuda Police Service. But is the police community involvement aiding their efforts at all?
We can't hide the fact that gang tensions are presently high, but it's a lot of work that we do in the background that the public may not be aware of, where we act on information and intelligence received, and we have put in place plans and operations which have prevented more shootings happening.
We're not disputing that the fact that you might be working hard in the background, but is this initiative working? Because we're seeing more flare-ups of this type of activity in recent times.
Yes, I believe it is working, but at the end of the day, also it's twofold. We need the help of the community. We do our part based on the information we have and put plans in place, but also we have to rely on the community, members of the public, to come forward to give us any information, no matter how insignificant it may be, to come forward and speak to us.
Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
And again, anyone with any information, no matter how insignificant it may seem to you, is to ask to contact Detective Sergeant Jason Smith on 717-0864 or jsmith2@bps.bm, or you can call the private and confidential Crime Stoppers hotline at 800-8477. We'll have more for you after this short break, including the latest from AccuWeather headquarters. Stay with us.
At Argus, our interest is you. Each of you. Around here, we know that when two people seem the same, they can have very different insurance needs. For their health, home, work, and future. Which is why we take the time to get to know you as an individual, so we can provide insurance coverage that fits your life. Because after all, our interest is you.
Treat yourself and your loved ones this Christmas at Diamonds International in Dockyard. Sensational tanzanite bracelets, gorgeous Crown of Light diamond necklaces, and the limited edition Hublot Crown of Light Big Bang watch. During the holidays, there is 15 to 75% off all merchandise. And this watch as a free gift with every purchase. Plus 5% of all shopping proceeds will be donated to the LCCA charity. Come see the stunning store in Dockyard and see why Diamonds International is always the perfect choice.
The year-end clearance sale is now on at Bermuda Motors. Cargo ships bringing our 2019 models will be arriving soon. To make room, we're offering the lowest prices of the year on these models. Ford Figo, our hatchback with cutting-edge technology. Ford EcoSport, big on comfort, safety, and power. Toyota Avenza, the perfect balance of style and function. Toyota Prius C, our fuel-efficient 5-door hybrid. So hurry, prices are available until the end of the year or while our inventory lasts at Bermuda Motors.
From the very beginning, it was always our singular focus to do whatever it takes, use every possible resource to fight cancer, and never lose sight of the patients we're fighting for. Our cancer treatment specialists share the same vision. Experts from all over the world working closely together to deliver truly personalized cancer care. And these are the specialists we're proud to call our own. Expert medicine works here. Learn more at cancercenter.com. Appointments available now.
Welcome back. Well, it isn't just Mr. Johnson's family which is mourning his loss. Pembroke's Southeast MP Ralph Commission is also deeply upset. It turns out the murder took place within Mr. Commission's constituency. The MP told Bermuda Broadcasting News today he's personally tired of the continued violence.
I just hope that the police can bring this to significant closure in terms of the arrest and successful prosecution of the individual in question or individuals who may have committed this heinous murder. There has been an uptick in violence, some would say maybe gang associated, in that region of the country. My constituency has seen its share of it over the last 4, 5, or 6 months, with gunshots being fired at least 2 or 3 different areas in my constituency over the last, again, during that period. And, it may be too early for this, Troy, but I'm getting, I'm getting a little weary here. And like I said, my heart is heavy. But, until we begin to really drill down on the underlying fundamental causation, I just think that we're going to just continue to see the same old cycles.
Mr. Commission believes that the cycle of violence, the growth of the drug trade, and income inequality are all related.
If you go back 20, 21 years ago when I think this phenomenon started, many of the boys that are out there now, they were 4, 5, 6, or 7 years old. Now they're young men, but they have now taken themselves and placed themselves in the ranks of those who are now at risk in a big way. I have always been of the view, as many of your viewers and listeners know, that countries where there are high levels of income inequality, I've said this before, you get the following impacts: gang violence, gang formation, higher incarceration rates, particularly around capital crime, such as murder. You get increased levels of poverty, in Bermuda's case, an exacerbation of pre-existing racial disparities, along with poor educational outcomes amongst those who are most affected. I've also said this before, the reason why we see this within Bermuda's black exclusive over the last 2 decades is because Bermuda's white community has higher levels of income and in many cases multi-generational wealth to insulate them from the impacts associated with living in a country with high levels of income inequality.
In other news, unionized bus operators have voted to approve a new national bus schedule for the first time in many years. The new schedule, which will be active in January, will reduce the number of buses on the road at peak times and in doing so restore public confidence in the service.
Management and bus operators met today. In accordance with their collective agreement, it was up to the drivers to give the schedule their approval. Bermuda Broadcasting News understands many drivers abstain from voting either way, an indication of some rumblings within the ranks. Out of 110 operators, there were 39 votes in favor, with 16 voting against. Operators had met 2 weeks ago about the schedule and had rejected it in favor of an arbitration process. However, it's understood the government rejected arbitration, believing it could take up to 2 years to resolve, forcing the union leadership to go back to its membership for a vote. It's understood that some drivers are unhappy with the new schedule because it reduces the number of daily runs and results in less overtime opportunity. Bus drivers will be meeting over the next few weeks to select their new personal work rosters, with the most senior operators getting first picks. As for the new bus schedule, it will go into operation in January for a period of 18 months and reduce the number of buses operating from 88 to 50. New Director of Public Transportation Roger Todd told us in a previous interview the new schedule is not meant to be a quick fix.
We're not making any move toward reducing our commitment to having a quality public bus service. Currently, demand is outstripping our ability to supply. So this is a necessary measure in order for us to be able to regroup, to sustain ourselves.
Thanks, Tarai. Well, turning to weather news, a very rainy and windy day today. Let's go to AccuWeather headquarters to see if improvements are on the way.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brittany Boyer, and hopefully you had a great weekend. We've actually been dealing with somewhat of mild temperatures today. Unfortunately, it has been a pretty windy day, and we also have some rough conditions out there on the water. What we have happening here is a storm system. You can see it well off to our north, and then there is a trailing boundary with that, and that's going to be getting closer and closer to us. You can see on the satellite over the last couple of frames, we do have plenty of clouds here over the Atlantic. So overnight tonight, it is looking pretty unsettled. We'll actually have to watch for some steadier rain over the island later on tonight. So kind of a soggy start to this Monday, if you will. We do have plenty of weather alerts out there issued by the Bermuda Weather Service. We'll first start off with our gale warning. We've had some pretty gusty winds today. That gale warning remains in place at least through the evening hours. A thunderstorm advisory also out there through this evening, and then a small craft warning through Tuesday night. So if you had any kind of plans on heading out onto the water tomorrow, just a heads up that it might not exactly be all that nice. Temperatures, can't complain about it. We're getting into mid-December and we're sitting in the low to mid 70s. However, look at some of the current conditions here. We have humidity around 85%. Winds are out of the southwest, 30 to 35 knots, so it's quite windy out there. The water temperature 69 degrees, and outside of the reef, that's where we're seeing the most problems, where waves are anywhere from 6 to 18 feet, and that will be decreasing as we head into the nighttime hours. Your tidal times right over here. We have our high tide coming in at 10:30 tonight, and then our low tide coming in just before 4:30 on your Tuesday morning. And overnight tonight, again, there will be some showers out there, some of which could be a little bit steady at times, and then the winds will gradually start to weaken here after a pretty windy Monday that we've had. For tomorrow, temperatures topping out in the low 70s, and we'll have some clouds and sunshine, but also a couple of showers that will be dodging as well. A low of 62 degrees for tomorrow night. So here's your future cast. The one storm system well off to our north and east. And then as we head into Tuesday and also Wednesday here, you can see that we will have another storm system moving on through. So we will have a couple more opportunities of showers at least over the next couple of days here in Bermuda. If you're doing any traveling, this is what it looks like right now in Jamaica. 88 degrees, couple of thunderstorms around. Barbados, low 80s, and you can see that we also have some showers there in Trinidad. If you're heading out to the East Coast, actually very tranquil weather. They're digging out into the Carolinas after heavy snow, and look at some of the temperatures. 52 in Atlanta tomorrow, 39 degrees in New York City. So quite unsettled into tonight and also into Tuesday and Wednesday. Temperatures are on the decline as we head into the later half of the week. We've got some shopping left this weekend, but we'll have to watch a storm system late Saturday into Sunday.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
I was diagnosed with illness. Very frightening because my son had just turned 1 and it was the cancer. So I'm young, new baby, and I needed to get the care that I knew would be definitive so that I wanted to be around for him for a very long time. I got in contact with BF&M, and BF&M was able to commit at that time to doing at least 50%, so we were comfortable, okay, well, we're gonna go. We got off the plane, actually, the day of the procedure, and on my way to the limo, my case manager called and she says, Kiana, we got it, you're covered at 100%. And I cried all the way to the office because I was just so happy. The BF&M difference is that I really felt that the case manager really was concerned about my overall care. And because of that, I really appreciated them. I think that personal care, that willingness to listen, and then to work until they were able to get it so that I could get full coverage really made the difference for me.
Surface Trends has been serving Bermuda for over 25 years, supplying and installing tile and natural stone. We have a large in-stock selection of beautiful porcelain wood planking, including our exclusive Bermuda cedar tile. You will also find Bermuda's best in-stock selection of countertops, including natural granites, exotic quartzites, and silestone engineered quartz in all the newest colors. Our team will be happy to help you. Stop by our showroom at 17 Serpentine Road or give us a call at 295-8005.
Fresh Breath Dental is more than a dental office. It's a community dental office with wheelchair access, scholarship opportunities, community day free extractions, plus savings opportunities with $25 off through BIU and BPSU and referral award, and an $80 teeth cleaning as part of our transitional program. Because we believe when the community benefits, we all benefit, as a healthy mouth is a healthier you. So don't delay. Call 433-6825 or email info@fbdl.bm to schedule your appointment today at Fresh Breath Dental in the Cedar Park Center, Hamilton.
The Minister of Finance, Curtis Dickinson, passed an order in the House of Assembly last week that increases contributory pension benefits with effect from August 2018. Mike Sharp has the details.
Benefits under the Contributory Pension Fund, CPF, will last increase in 2016 by 3% and in 2017 by 1.7%. The ministry will increase CPF benefits by 1.4% in January of 2019, backdated to August 2018. As of September 30th, 2018, the fund had total assets of over $1.9 billion. The opposition spokesperson for finance, Pat Gordon-Pamplin, was shocked that seniors were given such a small increase.
As a member of parliament and as one who is concerned of our seniors, I actually was embarrassed that the government wanted to bring such a paltry increase to the seniors. Last year, they put a 1.7% increase. This year was 1.4% increase. The year prior, I believe there was a 5% increase the last year of the OBA administration, and there were no increases between 2011 and August of 2011 and 2016. But what is important to understand is that when the OBA government came into administration in 2012, the financial situation of the country was so dire. And it's interesting that the Progressive Labour Party have no interest in being accountable for the dismal state in which they left the country's finances.
But the former OBA government made seniors wait 5 years for a pension increase.
It's fine to come back and criticize, to say, oh, you all didn't have any increases during that period of time for our seniors, and therefore you don't care. But was it more important to have the country fall down a rabbit hole and you know, sort of irrecoverable position, financial position, or did it make more sense for us to stabilize things, try to build up some money within the economy so that there was something that was sustainable? The PLP have taken over, and last year with their 1.7% was the lowest that they have ever given, even in very good years. So, and this year they've given 1.4, which is even less than last year's 1.7%. So it is the lowest increase that they have given to our seniors for pension increases.
The 1.4% pension increase does not only apply to seniors.
These are seniors as well as the disabled, as widow pensions and the like.
And I'm Mike Sharp with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Mike. Well, in other news, Canopy Growth, one of the world's largest medical marijuana companies, visited the island recently to meet with government regarding the future of the industry in Bermuda. Cooper Stevenson brings us the story.
The signal has gone out to foreign cannabis companies. Bermuda is getting ready for business. Late last month, Premier David Burt tweeted that he'd met with the CEO of Canopy Growth and invited similar companies to, quote, invest in local entrepreneurs to create more jobs and partnerships in Bermuda. A representative for Canopy stated that, quote, we're participating in Bermuda by providing industry insight to officials while we evaluate the market ourselves and how we could fit into it. As government develops its framework for medicinal marijuana industry, it's considering all options. The Ministry of Legal Affairs said today that Canopy is not the only cannabis company sniffing around. In addition to Canopy Growth, said a spokesperson, there has been considerable interest in this initiative, expressed by individuals locally and internationally who are knowledgeable advocates of the medicinal benefits of cannabis. Government has stated that it will be issuing licenses to grow medicinal marijuana as early as next year, and Canopy Growth is ready to step in. It became the first company to legally export medicinal cannabis to the United States this October. The company boasts $4 billion in assets thanks in part to its association with Constellation Brands, the makers of Corona and Modelo beer. The firm is expected to create new products, such as cannabis beverages, as well as expand into new markets such as Bermuda. I'm Cooper Stevenson with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Cooper. Well, coming up, Earl Bazin with tonight's sports package in just a few minutes.
Getting ready for Christmas is all about the finishing touches.
The icing on the cake. The table neatly set. Decorations specially placed. And gifts thoughtfully wrapped, all to share with those we love. In special moments as simple as this.
Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year.
Colonial. where people come first.
Treat yourself and your loved ones this Christmas at Diamonds International in Dockyard. Dazzling diamond rings, including this stunning ring creation from Crown of Light. And for men, iconic watches from Tag Heuer. During the holidays, there is 15 to 75% off all merchandise. And this watch as a free gift with every purchase. Plus 5% of all shopping proceeds will be donated to the LCCA charity. There is nothing comparable on the island to the truly outstanding collection at Diamonds International in Dockyard.
Let's Talk is back. The TV talk show hosted by Gary Marino airs live at 8 p.m. on Mondays. Real conversations with key figures in public life, going beyond the sound bites to explore and contextualize current affairs. And there's lots to talk about: jobs, tax reform, our changing economy, education, crime, and the environment. Discussing the issues that matter in depth and with personality. A new studio, a new look, or a new season. That's Let's Talk. Live Mondays at 8 p.m. on ZBM TV 9 and repeated at 7 a.m. on Wednesdays and Sundays at 8 a.m.
Now Earl Baisden has our sports report.
History was made at the National Sports Center on Saturday as the first New York Field Hockey League match was held in Bermuda.
The Bermuda Hockey Academy Islanders did not disappoint the home crowd, picking up a 4-3 victory. The Bermuda winner came with just 30 seconds remaining on the clock as Nigel Dean found the back of the net, sending the local team and their fans into wild celebrations. The Bermuda School Sports Federation's Knockout Cup competition came to an end at the National Sports Center on Saturday with 9 finals played, 34 goals scored, and 2 matches decided by kicks from the penalty mark. In the primary school Division 2 boys final, St. George's Prep defeated Gilbert Institute 5-0. The primary school boys Division 1 final saw Work Academy defeat West Pembroke 1-0. In the primary school girls final, Harrington Sound defeated Salters Grammar School 5-3. The middle school girls final saw Whitney Institute defeat T.N. Tatum Middle School 5-0. The middle school boys under 13 final was decided by kicks from the penalty mark after Salters Grammar School and Work Academy finished deadlock at 3-3. Work Academy will win 6-5. The middle school boys over 13 final saw Sands Secondary Middle School and Delwood finish 1-1, with Delwood winning 4-3 with kicks from the penalty mark. The senior school under 16 boys final saw Barclay Green defeat Barclay Gould 1-0. The senior school girls final saw Salters Grammar School defeat Barclay Institute 2-1, and the senior school boys final saw Barclay Institute defeat Cedar Bridge Academy 2-1. Nicky Wells scored, but he and his Queen's Park Rangers teammates went down 2-1 to Leeds at Allen Road on Saturday. On the local front, after a scoreless first half at the Southampton Oval yesterday, Sequoia Robinson would score the lone goal for the PHC Zebras in stoppage time from close range as they would win 1-0 over Paget Lions and take the league lead. This after Robin Hood defeated Crossroads 2-1. It was the Somerset Trojans and Dandytown drawing 2-2, while the Boulevard Blazers gave up a 3-0 lead and drew 3-3 with North Village Rams. In the first division, it was Southampton Rangers 8, Devonshire Colts 1, St. George's Colts 2, Island Rangers 1, St. David's 2, Vasco 1, Wolves 1, Somerset Eagles 4, Flanagan's Onions 3, Hamilton Parish 4. Vanessa James and Morgan Cypress of France soared to victory in the pairs event as competition wrapped up in the ISU Grand Prix of Figure Skating Final taking place in Vancouver. The world bronze medalists James and Cypress turned in a mesmerizing performance to improve their season best with a score of 148.37 points and racked up 219.88 points overall to claim the title. The Bermuda Volleyball Association's Junior National Girls team concluded competing at the 2018 Florida Holiday Volleyball Challenge. The Bermuda Under-14 team finished 13th in the division after finishing with a record of 0-5. The Under-16 team finished with a record of 0-5 and finished in 12th place. The Under-18 team would finish with a record of 0-5 and they would finish in 6th. The Bermuda National Athletic Association hosted their National Cross Country Championships at Clearwater Beach for the first time on Saturday. The Age Minors was crowned the men's 20 to 39 age group national champion after he was clocked across the line in a 5-mile time of 30:49. John Dow Cumberbatch was crowned the 17 to 19 men's national champion after he recorded a 3-mile time of 18:51. Rosanna Hoy was crowned the 20 to 39 women's age group national champion after she covered their 3-mile 4-mile distance in a time of 21:47. Jessie Marshall won the 14 to 16 women's age group title when she was clocked in a 3-mile time of 22:51. According to NAPO, the Digicel Under-12 division saw the Sparks and the North Village Lady Rams white team finish 13-13. The North Village Lady Rams red defeated the Storm 10-7. In the Digicel Under-16 league, it saw the Storm Lightning defeat the Warriors 43-5. The North Village Lady Rams red defeated the North Village Lady Rams white 35-12. Phoenix Fire defeated the Storm Thunder 18-6.
I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
That's our newscast for tonight. I'm Diane Brewer. Thanks for joining us. Good night.